So welcome back guys, this is your guy DJ. I am back with another vlog explainer PTO. I will be helping you out with a different topic this time. It's my old blog. I will be recording this video around the August month and so. It's a March blog, but still it is useful. It has helped me with my own personal team as well as my own clients which were complaining about a lot of things regarding to their vector DBs that they have to manage the vector DBs and so. So I have built up a solution around it. I have created blocks so you can get a gist. Just put out this block to Gemini, Claude, or whatever you wanted to, and ask them how we can implement it. It will provide you a brief and detailed overview. So let's get started. Let's start. So when we think about building up a RAG or building up a vector DB, we think about okay that we need to have a proper vector DB database, either a Pinecone or something around. But what if I said you that you don't need to manage those vector DB? Like it's an hefty thing to manage vector DB. It's another level of hassle to look into that. But when you think about managing vector DBs or in fact managing databases from RAG, things might go in a really costly manner. But if what if I tell you about that? Okay, you can use only what you need. Like you can go serverless. Isn't that amazing? Like going serverless makes you so much flexible with ton of stuff that you are looking forward to. So I will be putting out firstly a brief introduction regarding this. Okay, how it does, what it does, and why I built it. So, firstly, even though you think about the cheap option of running a vector DB on a simple EC2 instance, it's gonna cost. I will not say that it will cost you a huge, but it's just gonna cost you a hefty amount. Like even if you use your PG vector like Postgres vector, still it's gonna cost you even you are running it on an issue 24 by. And there will be always an instance of there will always a scenario that okay it might be underutilized or overutilized. This scenario is never gonna means you will be paying much more than what you need. Also, what if we use AWS and implemented it in a specific manner? Like the traditional RAG requires mostly a provision database node, a managed cluster scaling, and a peak capacity even at 3 a.m. when nobody is querying your app. It does not make it. So what I have built, I have provided a brief architecture. Okay, what if we did things in this? We will do a simple thing. We will start uploading with a simple Python function that the data we already have in our system. It might be PDF, it might be TXT, it might be JSON, what it can be, and then we'll trigger a AWS Lambda function using that S3 trigger event and put those PDFs, TXT file, and JSON file which we are looking to and cut it into manageable chunk pieces using any kind of LangChain or custom. And we will provide this all the chunked data from Lambda to AWS Amazon Bedrock, which will provide us in return embeddings. Okay? Titan embeddings or Cohere, whatever it would be, which you will be find convenient to use. You can convert those text into chunks into vector embed. And then finally, the Lambda will write the whole data which is arrived from the uh, arrived from our database, which was like Titan embedding was Cohere, which provided a proper vector formatting numbers which we are looking for, and those numbers will be saved into OpenSearch. OpenSearch is a service which helps you to get a database stored, a vector DB data stored in a serverless. I will also show you if you wanted to, like OpenSearch AWS. A fully managed service used for full text search, log analytics, real-time application monitoring, and vector searches for AI workloads. I will also provide you a brief logos thing that will help you remember it. Okay, this is the thing which I'm talking about, and this will not cost you that much, but it will cost you far more less as compared to our continuous running EC2. Why this will work for new age startups? Like they can't invest in such a kind of a capital heavy investment in terms of just compute. They are already running AI models on a GPUs, which are costing them a hell lot of it. What if they could save a little bit? What if they could invest those stuff into marketing, ops, and whatever it could be, and sales as well? So that would be really helpful for them. So that's why it's a really worthful if any startup is looking forward to use this kind of architecture. And deep dive into Amazon OpenSearch serverless for vectors. Like just I told you that OpenSearch is a managed service provided by Amazon, and it helps you to get things done really easy manner. Like it is an open source Apache 2.0 license for from Elasticsearch 7.10. So it is really useful for it. Many of companies uses it. And for Genia workload, I think so it's a SOTA, state of the. But let me do one thing. I will directly open up any kind of AI and provide you a brief thing. I'll provide you a brief that okay how it might be. So we just prompt it like compare a costing of running a PG vector DB on an EC2 and using it with respect to this implementation mentioned in the blog. I will put it out my blog link. You can also check out this blog just so if you find it useful. If you find the video useful, then check out the blog as well. But I will be explaining you all the things over here. Okay, the blog post is fully serverless cloud architecture. Okay, cost comparison. Assume a startup with 5,000 document chunks, 7,818 embedding, user per day, and 2000 vector searches a month. EC2 hosted quadrant PG vector on anything, OpenSearch serverless, always running, auto manage, manual automatic, OS backup, low instance, idle cost high, low, you manage built-in, no need to worry about it. Running a vector DB on EC2, okay, T3 large or TX3 large, that's unnecessary. So it costs you around 70 to $85 a month. But what if low cost for predictive workflow, full control, can use an open source database, easy migrate. This will be its advantage. But when you shift to open search serverless, it might cost you a more, but it is costing you open source serverless cost. But we didn't attach the development and management cost into this. Hmm. Now talking about it, when we include the operations management of engineering team, then the cost gets down. Because if your engineering team is busy in managing those EC2 instances, you won't be able to do stuff in the best way possible. If you could see, I have also attached those stuff intentionally because if you think that oh infrastructure is costing me a lot, but instead of that you are able to save your engineering team's time in a far more greater manner. So this makes a lot of sense now. If you directly think, okay, oh brother, it's costing us more in terms of infra. But if you think in on those lines, you have already lost. Rather, nothing would make any sense. So let's move forward and retrieval flow like user query arrives to an Amazon API gateway to a Lambda function, then the Lambda calls the bedrock, embedded the user search string, and then the search will happen in the open search serverless, 3 to 5 most relevant text chunks, and then the generation will happen. Trade-offs there are, yes, there are trade-offs. Like what I told you, that okay, it might go a infra heavy thing, but also there is a thing of engineering team costing. So you have to look into the trade-offs. End of the day, as scaling limits, it cannot scale instantaneously, but can be managed in a best way possible. 100x baseline instead. That's a cool start. You will also need to configure max OCU for opponent test the scaling. You can't rely on them pure. And lastly, vendor lock-in AWS. You will get locked to AWS. You can't move out. But for startups, it's a best thing that you can do. And I think so. That's it, guys. From my side, I have provided you a brief overview that okay how you can implement this in your team, how it can benefit to them, and finally how what are the trade-offs, what are the costings as well. Don't just look into the costing in terms of infra, but also look into the engineering team's time. as well as engineering teams cost. So this will provide you a brief overview, and I think so that's it. Thanks for listening to me. This is Dhananjay signing off.